Because you love film noir, you can't not watch Defending Jacob, the new miniseries by Apple TV+. The story is about family and unfamiliarity, about trust and betrayal. When a boy is found dead in Newton, Massachusetts, 14-year-old Jacob Barber is forced to behave like an adult. Nobody can say if he is victim or perpetrator, not even his own parents. Both photography and cinematography are a feast for the eyes. Intriguing is the use of silhouette, stressing the moral dilemma behind the images. What symmetry does instead is highlight chaos even more, giving a semblance of integrity. Night scenes build up the everlasting uneasiness, and even in the daytime, the cloudiness goes beyond the weather. Cars are always ubiquitous and yet unpredictable, making it easier to talk about a Straßen TV series, just like M by Fritz Lang is a street film. From the expressionist masterpiece, the series borrows the focus on profiling and the characterization of the alleged serial killer Leonard Patz, whose sneer resembles that of Peter Lorre. Flashback stands out, no matter whether the narrator is reliable or not. The concurrence of two trials allows to frame the story as well as the characters, who are all nestled in some claustrophobic framing devices like bars, glass walls, windows, and car windows. Mirror images convey doubling, deceptiveness, and disorientation until sinking into a character's state of mind. Nightmares come to the surface along with ominous feelings. Since life disintegrates in front of several people, you could define the whole series as a nightmare noir, also with a race against time to prove innocence before it is too late. Andy Barber knows this very well, and that's why he feels trapped, forced to step back and thus unable to change the status quo. Haunted by his past and betrayed by his present, he will have no choice but to compromise, especially when his son Jacob is on the verge of captivity, just like Andy's incorrigible father Billy. Former colleague Neil Lojudice complicates things, as he comes across as an incorruptible law enforcer who never fails to be heartless. From gangster thrillers instead comes the character of James O'Leary, whose identity struggles to get out of the shadow cone. But who is the homme fatale, and is there any femme fatale? One thing's for sure, all the female characters are vigorous and almost androgynous. This is the case of Pam Duffy, the investigator who despite everything escapes the label of corrupt cop. Again, Dr. Vogel is a very bold character. As a behavioral scientist, her job is to assess whether troubled Jacob was born with the murder gene. Joanna Klein stands on the podium too, as a very resolute and yet compassionate defense lawyer. More intimate is the character of Laurie Barber, a figure of the innocent and wholesome mother and wife who sees her role as support. Among Jacob's peers, there is Sarah Grohl, who's probably the good bad girl whose ambiguous behavior is hard to understand. To sum up, the essence of this show, as well as its roots in the noir genre, can be found even just by watching the opening credits. From a knife to a doorstep, from a shadow to a street, from an aerial panorama to the veins in a leaf, from a shrub to a fingerprint, from a police file to handprints, back to the shadow and deep into the darkness. You won't skip the intro anymore.